Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on the Fiesta project. So in today's video we've got a few little things to sort out. So if you guys remember back to the first episode, what we diagnosed the knocking in the car to be is this gearbox mount. So I've ordered one of these off of eBay. I'm going to go ahead and replace that today. And then another thing is this right here, which if you're not familiar is a valve cover gasket. And when I was putting the engine back together in my own haste, I forgot to put this in. So got to take the valve cover off today, replace this gasket because it is actually leaking oil. It's leaking oil onto the exhaust manifold, which is burning, causing a lot of smoke and a funny smell. So this has got to be replaced. It's not something I can ignore. So gearbox mount and this today, and I think that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying the project so far. And yeah, if by the way, if you're wondering where I am, this is the new workshop me and my dad have just finished building. It's the same old garage, but we've just kind of put this in here. So I'd just like to ask you guys if you'd like to see content like this, because me and my dad were thinking of filming this, but we didn't, as this car's kind of focused around cars and stuff. But if you would like to see content like this of us, because we would do a fair bit of his own building, just little things and bobs around the house. So if you'd like to see sort of content like this where we're building like our little workshops out and stuff like that, please do let me know in the comments and I'll be fine to film it for you and show you it off. So I'm going to start by getting the car jacked up. We're going to start on the gearbox mount. I'll give the gearbox mount on the car a good inspection, see how it comes off, see what parts, see if I've made sure I've ordered the right one. And then we'll get on with that. And then valve cover gasket will be the second thing. Obviously I haven't run the car today, so all the oil will drain to the bottom into the oil pan, so there won't be any oil, well, not much oil, so it won't be too dirty. And yeah, we'll get straight on with it, up to jacking the car. Okay then guys, so I'm now underneath the car, and this is the mount that I'm talking about. So it connects the subframe up to the gearbox, and I can confirm that that mount is definitely that one. If you could have a look, it's got the same bracket, same size, everything, so we've got the right mount. I'm pretty sure there's them 4 bolts there, so the one that connects to the chassis, to the subframe there, the 3 on this bracket, one up by that connector, and then if you look around here on this new mount, there's like a shaft there, which I believe is that right there, and there's a bolt head over here, so I think I'm gonna have to go for that one and hope for that. And I'll take these out first and see if the mount will pull out. If not, I'll take that bolt out there, and hopefully then it should definitely come out. Obviously, first off, I'm gonna have to jack up the gearbox, take the pressure off the mount so that I can take it out, otherwise there'll be too much weight on it and I won't be able to get the mount out. So I'm gonna get the little bottle jack under here, get this gearbox jacked up, and then we'll be on to find out size of the bolts and get them out. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've got the gearbox jacked up on a piece of wood to even out the pressure. So it's all jacked up now. Hopefully it should be some of the pressure relieved off of this. These 4 bolts here are all 13 mils. I don't know about the bolt on the backside just yet. It's probably going to be a spanner job because of how tight it is. I won't be able to get my ratchet in there. But for now, I'm going to focus on these 4 bolts here, which are all 13s. I'll get them out and then we'll focus on this back one, depending on whether it can come out without it. So I'm going to probably set you up on a time lapse, just so that you don't have to watch me struggle too much. Alright then guys, so as you will have just seen in the time lapse, I've managed to get 3 of the bolts out so far, or 4 even. But this bracket up here, you take one bolt off and behind that there's another bolt, as you can see, holding the actual mount on. Let's find out. I think it will be a 13. I'm just gonna need, you're gonna need a deep socket though, because it's on a stud. So I'll try and get that out and I'll let you know if there's any complications. Okay then guys, so I've just managed to now get that bolt out. It's come out nice and well. That was the final one, and just to show you what the knocking noise was, by the way as well, this shaft has nothing, it's not threaded, so you don't have to worry about that bolt on the back, forget me saying that, but as you can see, the knocking was very clearly this absolutely gone mount. It's completely, look at the rubber inside, I mean, that'll definitely solve us problem with the knocking, compared to the new mount, which is completely solid. So we'll get this mount chucked back in, and then rest of the work is up top, so we're chilling. I'll probably put you on time lapse to put this in, because it's just what I did in reverse order. Right guys, I apologise for you not seeing much, but I have been having a bit of a struggle. What I failed to realise is, with me jacking up the gearbox, I was struggling, basically, the problem was I was struggling to get all the bolts lined up. The mounts are the same, but I couldn't get them to line up. And basically what I failed to realise is, when you jack up a gearbox, they're not going to be in the right alignment. So after a quick phone call to my dad, I realised that. So now we've managed to get it in place. All the holes line up. We've just got to button up all the bolts, and then we will be done for this downside job, which I will be glad of to get off this bloody cold floor. So I'll just time lapse me nipping up all these bolts, and then we'll be done. And thank God that that'll be that awful knock will now be gone. Okay guys, so that engine mount is now, well, the gearbox mount is now fully in place. All the bolts are nipped up. Just check them once more just to make sure. These are all definitely nipped up nice and tight. Apart from that one. Yeah, that won't be going nowhere. Right, all tight. I can pull all my stuff out of here now, and we'll be up top. Alright then guys, now so the car is back down on the ground, getting onto the valve cover. The first step to do that is to take off this air box, because that's on top of it. So that just has these two 10mm here, this air pipe, and then there's also a little pipe just here. They all just pull out, and then obviously the two 10mm just there. Right, so once you've got them two out, they're fairly long screws, you pop them there. There is also two bungs underneath here that are connected to the head. So on yours you have to pull them, but mine are a bit broken. So these two usually sit in this, but mine are broken. You should have to, if you just give that a pull from the back, it will come up. So I think the next thing to do would be to take out the ignition wires. These are all labelled, so you don't have to worry about where they're going and stuff like that. Oh. Go. Keep all them out of the way. Might even want to just take them off the top of the distributor, just so that you know, it's just so that they're fully out of the way. Make sure you know this pattern though, so that you don't get them back on another order. So it's 4132. Just like that. Then everything's out of your way. There's I think these are 10mm that border this, which just confirm. No, they're actually smaller, so I believe they'll be an 8mm. Yep, so there's 8mm all the way around this. I think that should do it to pull it off. To connect it here, you might want to disconnect just to get out of the way. I don't think the fuel rail will come as a problem. but these on the front of the timing cover may do, so I'll just keep you informed, let you know as it goes. Okay then guys, so as you're seeing in that time lapse, that's all these bolts done. As you will realise if you're doing this your job yourself, these don't actually come out, they're stuck in so you don't lose them. You can just loosen them all until you pull them up, and that's when you know they're done. There is this one tiny little bolt back here which is a different size. It's a 10mm bolt on top. I think it actually has a bolt on it as well. Hold on. It's going to be a deep socket one because it's on a thing, so if you take that off, I think we might actually have to give the valve cover a tap with a hammer or something strong just to knock it off, because it will be tight on there. Okay, so I've just got back here so on top of the stud there's a 10mm bolt, but then on the actual stud underneath that is an 8mm bolt. So there's a 10mm bolt on top of this because it's a bracket holder, so on top of that is a 10mm, you take that off, and then underneath that is an 8mm, take that out, that's one of the same bolts that never comes out. And then, so now as you can see, the valve cover is somewhat free, but there's this one bolt here that I believe goes through, you can kind of see it there. So I think we've got to take that out. I'll find out what size that is for you, just 2 seconds. I think it will be an 8mm like the rest of them, or a 10mm. So it is an 8mm. So we'll just pull that off, hopefully that'll come off, and then we've just got to do the gasket and it's straight back on. Right then, so now with the valve cover out of the car, I managed to just wiggle it out a little bit. We should be able to just pull this gasket. It's this gasket that borders around here. Probably just kind of, with the use of the flat bladed screwdriver, we should be able to get under it and replace it. It's either going to be a screwdriver job or maybe a Stanley knife, because they're a bit skinnier and can probably get in a bit better. So we'll get the Stanley knife under it anywhere you can. Then once you get one part of it up, you can just use that to pull the rest of it out, if you can get one part of it up. Also, it has been on there a while, so just be patient with it and try and get it out. And try to find like the best area to go for it. It is going to be a bit of a tedious job trying to pull it out, but I'd rather take some time to get this out than have to deal with oil leaking onto my manifold all the time. Ooh, just be careful, man. There we go. It is quite a deep gasket actually. It's not very skinny, so it does go in quite far. You're going to have to get your blade or screwdriver in quite far to be able to pull it out. There we go. Like I said, once you get under it in one place, you just kind of use that to pull the rest out. There we go. I'd advise wearing gloves as well, because obviously that's if you've had your engine running. I have, and as you can see, it's full of oil, so if you don't want all of your hands, I advise wearing gloves. Right, there's that older out. So that one's knackered now, you can go throw that in the bin, you don't need that. And then just now to put the new one in, which really should just be a job of kind of placing it in, pushing it in. Obviously get it orientated the right way, which will be that way. And just push it in bit by bit, make sure it all goes in nice and evenly. You don't want no oil leaks after you go through the effort of changing it, do you? Just go around the entire perimeter really. Give it a push. majority of the way around now. We've just got this one straight to do now. Make sure I'm just going to go around as well a couple of times and just make sure everywhere is nice and pressed in. Like I said, I don't want to go for the effort of changing it and have to still deal with the same problem. Like I said, I know that the problem is my fault, as I knew it was something I should have replaced. I just forgot to do it in the haste of trying to get the engine started. Got a bit giddy, carried away. There you go, that's all nice and set in now. Everywhere's set in evenly. Chuck this valve cover back on the car, probably just time lapse it all because you've seen me take it off. And then yeah, we'll get her warmed up and stuff and see if that engine mount, the gearbox mount, has managed to get rid of that knock. Right guys, so that's us all done. For what I am going to do first though is start the engine just to make sure that that oil still isn't leaking. So we'll go do that now and then we'll come have a look around. Once that's done, that's us done for today. Let's jump in. Just make it. Right, and perfect. Let's go check this oil, see if it's leaking. We're no longer leaking, which is good. So I guess I can leave the video here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I much appreciate your continued support on these videos. I'm going to keep reeling them out as much as I get done on this car. And I think after this, maybe the next thing we'll do is an MOT. I think the next thing we'll do is an MOT and see if we can get it roadworthy, get it going on the road and get it taxed and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching.